Hi, I'm Mark Graff. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about small businesses and cybersecurity. We read in the papers, you hear on the news about big companies when they have big cybersecurity problems. But what we don't hear about is small companies can have big problems too. And if you've got a small company and you're thinking about cybersecurity, man, this has been a heck of a year, hasn't it? And a lot of small companies are finding that people are using their computers more than ever before from home, right? So maybe you're in a situation where your employees don't show up for work in the office anymore, but they're working from home. Maybe they're even using their own computers, which has some special risks. Not your computers, but their computers. They're on their own networks and maybe not your networks at work. And all that is different. It's new. And if you haven't taken the time to really study it, it's likely that you have some risks that you're not aware of. So one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you is that you bring in a security professional and have them study what your risks are and how good your protections are. Now, what I prefer is always to do a non-invasive test. Some people will want to jump in, and you might even get advice like this, to jump in and do what's called a penetration test. Bring in some expert to try to break into your networks. Well, I tell you, I don't do that because, first of all, an expert can almost always break into your network. So it's not a question of whether somebody can break in. It's a question of, how hard can you make it, and how do you make it less attractive and more trouble to break into your network. To really understand this, though, you need to make a plan and take a look at all the risks you're running, because after all, you are the steward of that information, right? The employees' data, the customers' data. It's important to keep track of all the services and programs, software that need to be running in order for you to be able to operate your business. Think about your responsibilities there and how hard it is going to be to respond immediately, intelligently, if some crisis happens. It's always better to bring in an expert, think about the problems, evaluate the risks, look at your risks and defenses, look at your data, your computers, and make a good computer response plan. Once you have a good plan, of course, you want to test it. There are ways to exercise it. And again, just like I like non-invasive testing, I like what are called tabletop exercises that let you test your computer preparedness without damaging anything, without disrupting anything. There are ways to do all this, and it's actually a heck of a lot of fun in most cases. You end up finding a lot of stuff out. Sometimes you'll discover that the network will only run if the power. I had a problem years ago where somebody in another company in another part of the building didn't pay their electricity. It turned out that on January 1st, the electric company cut off the electricity to this other company, and that affected the computers of the company I worked at, and our network shut down. So if you do a good tabletop analysis, you can actually uncover some of those liabilities. And don't make a plan, test a plan, and then fix what you found. And it doesn't have to be, small companies can't always have a full-time security person. You can bring in experts, do it once or twice a year, do it once a quarter, have somebody on call. There are lots of different arrangements and lots of people who can do it. But the main thing is to plan ahead and don't count on being able to respond to any emergency without flaw. Everybody's going to kind of panic. Some people do better in emergencies than others. Why take the risk? Understand what you're responsible for, make some good preventive measures, and then take appropriate steps. It's that simple. Just remember, small companies can have big problems too, and it's important. I stop the bad guys. You should stop bad guys too. Find somebody who help you can plan, analyze, plan, and take preventive measures. That's really the key. Thanks.